Ferrari and Mercedes are once again locked in a heated war of words following what many are calling one of the FIA's most questionable decisions in recent memory. Adrian Newey has lifted the lid on Aston Martin's struggles with their 2026 challenger, and Lewis Hamilton has been handed a surprise twist at Ferrari that no one saw coming. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's dive straight into the latest Formula One news. And let me ask you this, what if I told you that one of the most powerful voices in Formula One just admitted something that could completely change the way you look at the sport? Toto Wolff, the outspoken team principal of Mercedes, has openly confessed that even he cannot escape bias when it comes to how incidents are judged on track, and his words could shake fans' faith in the FIA's ability to deliver fairness. Wolff was addressing the fallout from the controversial clash between George Russell and Charles Leclerc during the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. The two drivers were locked in a fierce wheel-to-wheel battle when contact was made. Russell felt he had been pushed unfairly wide, while Leclerc insisted it was simply hard racing. The FIA stewards reviewed the incident and decided not to penalize either driver. On the surface, that sounds like a reasonable call, but Wolff didn't just disagree. He admitted that his very role as Mercedes' boss automatically colors his interpretation. Wolff explained that, of course, as George's team principal, he believes his driver was treated unfairly, but at the same time he admitted that if the roles had been reversed and it was Leclerc on the receiving end, he might have just dismissed it as a racing incident. This was more than a complaint. It was a candid admission that every team boss, every fan, and even every steward brings bias into their judgments whether they like it or not. Confirmation bias is a human tendency. We see events in a way that supports our loyalties and existing beliefs, and Wolff's honesty just put that truth right out into the open. Think about it. The FIA's role is to remain impartial. Their stewards are meant to deliver judgments without favoritism. But if Wolff himself, who deals with the FIA every single weekend, can admit to being influenced by bias, doesn't that raise the possibility that even the stewards, who are under immense pressure, might also fall into the same trap? This isn't just speculation. History shows us countless controversial stewarding calls: Hamilton versus Verstappen in the explosive 2021 title battle, Fernando Alonso's strange penalties in 2023, endless rulings over track limits that left fans divided and frustrated. Each time, fans split into camps, Mercedes supporters outraged, Ferrari fans relieved, neutrals insisting it was simply part of racing. And now Wolff has put his finger on the real problem. Bias is everywhere. Formula One has always been political, but Wolff's statement tears down the illusion that decisions are purely about facts. Instead, they are shaped by perception, by loyalty, and by pressure. And when the sports leaders themselves are admitting it, how can we as fans completely trust that what we're watching is fair? Still, Wolff's honesty may have sparked something important, because moments like this tend to plant seeds. Fans, drivers, and other team bosses will remember his words the next time controversy arises. And that may just force the FIA to push for greater transparency. Maybe more detailed explanations behind rulings. Maybe even the introduction of AI-assisted stewarding or rotating panels from different countries to reduce the risk of favoritism. But what's clear is this: Wolff's confession makes us question whether Formula One is a sport governed by fairness or simply by perspective. And while fans crave fairness, the truth is that our own loyalty to teams and drivers clouds our judgment too. The next time your favorite driver is penalized, ask yourself, are you seeing the situation fairly? Or are you only seeing what you want to see? Because if Toto Wolff can admit his own bias, maybe it's time we admit ours too. Now, while Wolff's bombshell dominated headlines, Lewis Hamilton's turbulent first season in Ferrari Red continues to make waves. Hamilton's switch to Maranello for 2025 was billed as the most sensational transfer in Formula One history. Expectations were sky-high. Fans dreamed of championship glory, but reality has been brutally different. Hamilton hasn't secured a single podium so far. Instead, he's endured one difficult weekend after another. In Belgium, he openly criticized himself, calling his performance useless, and even hinted that Ferrari should consider replacing him. His boss Fred Vasseur was not impressed, dismissing Hamilton's words as exaggerated, insisting that sometimes Lewis has a tendency to make things sound worse than they are. Vasseur pointed out that even in his lowest moments Hamilton was only a 10th off pole, a reminder of how fine the margins are. But then came Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix. Hamilton looked sharper, closer to Leclerc's pace, and even battled with George Russell inside the top 5. But then the rain fell, and disaster struck. On the banked third corner, Hamilton lost the rear of the car, slid into the barriers, and crashed out. It was his first retirement of the season, a rare mistake for the 7-time champion. Hamilton admitted afterward he could count on one hand how many times he had made an error like that in his entire career. The nightmare worsened when he received a 5-place grid penalty for Monza, plus penalty points on his license for failing to slow under double yellow flags. But here's where the twist comes. Despite the crash, despite the penalties, Vasseur emerged from the weekend with a surprising statement. Hamilton's confidence is coming back. According to Vasseur, Hamilton had arrived at Zandvoort withdrawn and quiet after tough weekends in Belgium and Hungary. But in practice and qualifying he fought hard, showed pace, and proved his determination. And that, Vasseur believes, is the clearest sign that Hamilton is turning a corner. Ferrari knows how critical momentum is. Small wins like improved qualifying laps or stronger race pace can snowball into breakthroughs, and Hamilton may now be building the resilience needed to fight back. Ferrari's own leadership stability also plays a role. Vasseur has signed a contract extension, shutting down rumors that Christian Horner could replace him. And for Hamilton, that stability is crucial. Now the focus is entirely on performance. All of this builds into a dramatic showdown at Monza, Ferrari's home race, a pressure cooker like no other. Ferrari fans, the Tifosi, expect brilliance on home soil. The weight of history is immense, and Hamilton must rise to meet it. If he can channel this flicker of confidence into a breakthrough, it could redefine his entire Ferrari story. Imagine the scenes. Hamilton once written off roaring back in front of a sea of red flags at Monza, proving that he is far from finished. His journey this season has been harsh, from self-doubt to mistakes. But now comes the test of a champion's mental strength. Can he use this adversity to rise again? And while Ferrari and Mercedes dominate headlines, Aston Martin's future is also under scrutiny thanks to Adrian Newey's brutally honest assessment of the AMR26, their car for the 2026 regulation overhaul. Newey, one of Formula One's most legendary designers, admitted that he has a gut feeling the car may not be ready to win right out of the gate. His words are significant because when a genius like Newey speaks, the paddock listens. The 2026 regulations represent one of the biggest shakeups in modern F1 history. With new aerodynamic rules, lighter cars, fuel flow restrictions, and completely reworked power units, teams are being forced to redesign from scratch. And even the smallest miscalculation could cost crucial tenths of a second. Newey suggested that while the AMR26 has potential, it may take time to evolve into a race-winning machine, and that honesty sets expectations. In Formula One, rushing to deliver a perfect package on day one often backfires. The smarter approach is to launch with a strong base and then iterate rapidly across the season. It's a strategy Red Bull has mastered, and Aston Martin seems to be learning the same lesson. Newey's gut feeling isn't just superstition. It comes from decades of pattern recognition and an uncanny ability to read the signs, whether it's aerodynamic inconsistencies, chassis balance, or the integration of the new power unit. His instincts are rarely wrong. He has openly said that Aston Martin will need time to refine the AMR26, which means fans should prepare for a learning curve. Red Bull and Ferrari will not stand still. Their continuity and innovation set the bar extremely high. And for Aston Martin to catch them will require flawless execution, rapid upgrades, and reliability. But the important point is that Newey's honesty prepares the team and fans for reality. They may not dominate straight away, but under his guidance they could evolve into serious contenders by mid-season or beyond. In F1, patience and iteration often determine success. And with Newey's steering development, Aston Martin has every chance of turning initial weaknesses into long-term strengths. The key will be their reaction to early challenges, whether they adapt, upgrade smartly, and learn from mistakes. If they do, the AMR26 could surprise everyone as the season unfolds. Newey's track record from Williams to McLaren to Red Bull proves that when he feels something, it's usually spot on. So his words about the AMR26 being behind aren't defeatist. They are a calculated reminder that greatness in Formula One takes time. So where does this leave us heading into the heart of the season? Mercedes questioning fairness and bias, Ferrari trying to rebuild Hamilton's confidence under immense pressure, and Aston Martin bracing for a slower start under Newey's cautious outlook. These storylines remind us of what makes Formula One unique. It's not just about cars and lap times. It's about psychology, politics, and resilience. From Wolff's confession about bias, to Hamilton's struggle for redemption, to Newey's calculated patience, every element shapes the championship, and that's why fans love it. Because F1 isn't just racing, it's a battle of minds, of emotions, and of narratives that unfold across the season. So I'll leave you with this. Do you want Formula One to be decided purely by racing skill? Or are you okay with human bias, politics, and psychology influencing outcomes? Toto Wolff's words have reignited that debate. Lewis Hamilton's fight at Ferrari is giving us a redemption arc to watch, and Adrian Newey's honesty has set the stage for a fascinating 2026 season. The road ahead is unpredictable, but that's what makes this sport so compelling. So strap in because the twists and turns of Formula One are only just beginning.